All right, I guess we are live. I'm gonna wait for a few more minutes. Perfect. Are we live? Come on. YouTube doesn't show that. Okay, yeah. Perfect. We are live. Awesome. I'll let everyone join and then we'll start the questions. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope my voice is good. Please let me know if my voice is not good, by the way. I think it will help. Um, I'm having a lot of pain in my neck. Oh, why does it, what's the time? 9:31, right? Yeah, cool. All right. Uh, Bat Batram. Okay, that's a really complicated name. But hi, thank you so much for joining. I mean, my name is more complicated than yours, so I can't complain. But thank you so much for joining. Let me quickly drag you here. Let me get the chat here so that you guys can also see. I think this is better. Yeah. Let me see what was the shortcut for. Thank you so much for joining, by the way, Batram Guilfoyle. Thank you so much for joining. How are you doing? Is this is your first time, right? Or are you? Is it your alt account? I don't know. Always on top is what? Windows Control T. Okay, let me try. Windows Control T. Perfect. Not bad. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for joining. And whoever is joining, they can come and say hi. Today is AMA, by the way. You can ask me anything that you want. Of course, I get to choose whether to answer that question or not because some questions might be personal, but I'm coming with an intention to answer almost all the questions that are possible. And whoever is here, can anyone confirm me if you guys can hear me? Is my voice good? Is my voice okay? Just let me know. And then we'll start. Yep. Just let me know and that will be fine. Come on, guys. You can be active in the chat. You can say hi. Whoever is here. And I just played around with my mic, by the way, today. Lot of filters. Silicon Valley. Oh, that's a character name in the web series, is it? Nice to know. I'm sorry, I haven't watched Silicon Valley. I've only watched 4 to 5 series in my life, non-Hindi series, and I keep watching them again and again whenever I need to. It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. One is Chuck. One is Person of Interest. Blacklist. That's mostly it. Have I watched only 4? There's one more I forgot, but yeah. A Designated Survivor. Yes, that's a really good one. But that's mostly it. I don't watch a lot of new web series. That's a problem because I end up wasting a lot of time. Not wasting, but I will always binge watch a series. I can't stay curious, like I cannot sleep with this suspense at what's going to happen. Let me fix this, by the way. Let me actually get rid of it. Sorry, guys, for the unprofessional behavior. Okay, hope this is fine now. Sorry. Hello, Shivam. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I saw your comment. Yoink. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, everyone. Slowly, people will start joining, I believe, and then we'll start taking questions. I mean, we can start taking questions right now as well. But yeah, do you have any interest in data science? If that's the first question you want to ask, that's it. Sure, let me start recording as well so that I put this on YouTube later on. Cool. Maybe then we can start with the questions. And guys, let me know if you can hear me properly as well. I'm kind of nervous about the mic quality. But yeah, do you have any interest in data science? I would say I don't have a lot of interest in data science. I don't. I mean, I love computer vision. I enjoy doing deep learning as well. I am enjoying speech processing as well. But in particular, data science, for what kind of problem we are trying to solve, that also depends. But I'm not really good in exploratory data analysis and trying to get feature points out of it, for especially for tabular data or something else. I really like visualizing the data I'm getting. That's why computer vision works really well for me. I mean, data science it can work on images as well, I understand, but it's probably not for me. Yeah, I don't have any interest, but I've done it. I mean, it's not like I'm totally a noob in terms of data science. I have done it. Yeah, for Guilfoyle. Hi, you don't know me. Thank you so much for joining. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guilfoyle, hi. Come on. You can say hi to me as well. That's not the entry that I was expecting from a regular viewer, by the way, and a subscriber, of course. And guys, whoever is subscribed recently to the channel, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I am very humbled and I'm very obliged. I feel very accountable as well, for all the love I've gotten in the last few days and in the last few years as well since I've started. So it all means a lot to me. That's it. That's all I have to say. So thank you so much for everything that you've given to me. You work in a company or a freelancer? I work in a company. Yes, I'm not a freelancer. I do this outside of my day-to-day job. Oh, I'm famous, by the way. Guilfoyle is the greatest coder ever. Are you guys the same persons? I get this feeling that you guys just. Can you share some roadmap for data science? But sure, I can answer that question. But honestly, I should not be answering that question because I'm not the best person to answer. But I think you guys should check this out, madewithml.com. I'll talk more about it. But first, Shivam, I work in a company. It's Abnormal Security as of 28th January 2024. It's a corporate world. I would like to keep dates as specific as possible. I'm not a freelancer. I don't think I'm a material of freelancer as well. I really like solving customer problems. If not customer problems, I really like working with multiple people in a team trying to solve a common problem and with a common goal with different ambitions maybe. Can you share some roadmap for data science? Not the best person. As I said, I'm not really good in data science as well. So if I'll be answering this, I'll be doing injustice to your career and myself as well. But in corporate world, at least I know that having some really good footprint on Kaggle works really well for you. But have a good knowledge of machine learning maybe. I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't think I should go deeper into data science right now. Not the best person. Yeah. Sorry to disappoint. If I had a chance, I would have mastered all the fields possible. Mohit Wankhede from Train joining us. Thank you so much, Mohit. How's the mic? Yeah, no one is telling me how's the mic quality. I played a lot around mic quality. How does it sound right now? And you don't know me says no, but a nice username though. I'm considering making one with other Silicon Valley characters. Nice, yeah, nice. Thank you. I mean, not thank you, but yeah, good to know. I haven't watched Silicon Valley, so yeah, I'll just skip that one. Top notch. Thank you so much, Mohit. Thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you for joining. We all are missing you on stream, and hopefully you can be back since you're traveling now. Hopefully you'll be back from tomorrow. Yeah. Betram Guilfoyle asks any YT tutorial, if any. Of course, I don't have it on my channel. I like madewithml.com. I think you guys, but that's mostly for ML engineers, is it? I'm not sure if they have for data science as well. Abhishek Thakur used to do, right? Abhishek Thakur data science. ट्रेन में बोर्ड करके आता. अरे आराम से. Thank you so much for joining. In any case, thank you. Abhishek Thakur used to do some data science, right? If I'm not wrong. Or is it machine learning? When was the last time he posted a video? I've not heard from him for a while. Yeah, it's 5 months back. I mean, maybe I'm not sure if it's data science, to be honest. I don't think it's data science. So, but you can still take a look at his previous videos. I think he used to do some Kaggle. There you go, right? This is what I mean. So this is where he used to do Kaggle's 30 days of ML. I think it's a really good way to look at cross relations scikit-learn pipelines. Campus X, this is good. I'm not an ML or DS guy, but I've heard people talking about it. Okay, let me take a look at Campus X. Campus X official. Fear of Maths. I'm Nitish Singh, the founder of Campus X. Introduction to Transformers 8 hours ago, 5 days ago. At least he's regular. Why should you learn MLOps in 2024? Data science roadmap. I mean, if he says, if he has heard, it's good. Sure. Okay. Grace Hopper, thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Can you share your interview experience example, like for a current company? Sure. That's a good question, right? I think that will be nice. Do you want to hear? Okay, I'll give you some options, guys. Okay, and you have to choose which one do you want to hear about. Okay, so first one is my current company, which is Abnormal Security. Second one is NVIDIA, where I did my internship in the 4th year. Can you share your resume? You can just take a look at my LinkedIn. I think there's my resume as well. If you want to know more about me, feel free. Yeah, just a minute. There you go. You can find more about me here. There's a resume as well. You'll find in the featured. Can you share your interview? So yeah, I was saying you guys have a few options, right? First of all, it is, do you want to hear about my current company? Do you want to hear about NVIDIA as an intern? Or do you want to hear about the startups where I interned, which I can talk about as well? But I think Abnormal is a really, really good example for interview experience. So we can talk about it if you guys want. For all the above. Cool. Okay. All right. I'm gonna share my interview experience for all the companies I have listed so far. Okay. I'll start with NVIDIA. All right. +1. Okay. All right. So my interview experiences for the companies I've worked for so far. That's the question, and you chose for all of the above. So I'll go for that. So during my BTech, right, when I was doing bachelor's in computer science and engineering from IIIT in Raipur, I was reached out by a very kind person for an internship at NVIDIA, and I interned there in the US in Santa Clara in the PyTorch development frameworks team. Okay, that is about the role. First of all, there's not a lot of people do this, right? When they're talking about a company, when they are talking about a job they did, right, they don't talk about what team they joined, what kind of impact they had. So it's not relevant, because in any company, even in a startup, I feel like we are missing out on talking about what work are you doing. You can share the goodies photos that you got into a company, but what are you gonna do? Talk about that as well. So I think that's first I'll do. So that's where what I was doing at NVIDIA. Okay. In terms of interview experience, I think I had around 2 interviews. One was about machine learning, deep learning in general, and the second one was parallel programming. So, but yeah, parallel programming was the second one that I had. First one was deep learning and all. And in deep learning round, no, I think the parallel programming was the first one I had. That was with my manager of NVIDIA, right? And he asked me really good questions around how would you solve a particular question. Like, for example, just, dividing array into multiple subparts and then trying to sort it, right? So if you think about merge sorting, right, how can you divide and conquer, right, an array using threading? How would you use parallel programming? So he started with the very basic question that how would you sort an array, right? And then he started talking about, okay, how can you do it better? How can you do it better, right? And at some point of time, he's like, okay, now you have multiple threads, right? How would you leverage all of them to sort this array? This is 4 years back. Or maybe now 5 years back. So I'm trying to remember as much as I can, but this was the question I had. Okay. It went for 1 hour. Okay. And really, really good question. Really, really good question. Okay. And no other like bullshitting about, a quick sort. He's like, yeah, let's just do that. Let's follow your intuition and you're going good. You're going good. Okay. So from starting, he led me from sorting an array to using multiple threads to solve this problem. Right. So that's what he asked me in the NVIDIA first round. My second round was about deep learning. I remember it was 60 minutes and I was asked around 30 to 40 questions minimum. It was like, okay, we're going to ask you a lot of questions and there's no count. Like, we can keep asking you questions. We just have 60 minutes. You can answer how much you know and we'll just keep going on to the next question, right? It was really, really fun round. Like, for example, they might ask you, okay, let's say what is over training, like your model, how would you fine tune and all of that. I was already writing some blogs in C++ API for PyTorch. So a lot of questions around that. AutoGrad as well. Few questions here and there. Why would you set it to 0, the gradients while backtracking and all? I don't remember everything in deep learning right now, but that's what the second round looked like. And after that, I was selected here. In the second round itself, at the end of the interview, I was told that I'm selected. But it's a really funny story. I'll tell you guys about it. Darshan, by the way, thank you so much for joining. I've noted down your question. Just give me a few minutes. I'm going to complete answering my question and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So what happened? I was in the college. Okay. I was in my hostel room. I was giving this round and my internet disconnected. Now I was like, okay. And I reconnected after 5 or 10 minutes when the power backup, it takes some time to start up the Wi-Fi as well. So when I reconnected, they said, okay, no issues. The interview round is over. All right. So now electricity got cut again. Like the power was cut again. I'm like, okay. I was really nervous. I'm like, okay, it didn't go well. I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was just disappointed that, I didn't want it to go that way. I didn't want it to end on that note that, okay, he has been having a lot of power cuts. But after 15 days or something, I reached out to the person who had referred me and I asked, do you know how the round went and all? And he's like, we already told you the result at the end of the interview, right? I'm like, no. And he said, we told you you're selected. I'm like, what? I'm selected? And I didn't know about it. For 15 days, I was like, I almost forgot about the interview, to be honest. I was not very confident because of the way power cut and all happened. And I thought that I had fair chance. I did well, but I didn't really know that, because I couldn't look at them and get feedback because of the power issues and all, right? And they told me, we already told you at the end of the interview. I'm like, oh, so they said, yeah, you're going to hear from HR soon for the next steps. I'm like, yay, nice. But I'll be honest, right? I did not know that it was going to be in the US until I heard from the HR. And even after that, I didn't really expect that I'll go to the US and work with them. It's not a big thing. India is, progressing forward as well. But going and working with the people in the US with, top minds, I'm not saying that Indians are not great. They are great. But main maintainers were there in the US. Okay. And just working with them gave me a whole different perspective. I could have talked to them online as well if I had enough networking. But at that time, I didn't know a lot of people. I just knew a few in PyTorch. So yeah, that was my interview experience at NVIDIA. No data structures questions asked, but that was for internship as well. Okay. In terms of, I think after that, there were a few startups. And yes, I did work for them. I would not share their interview experience. I think it was mostly around my projects and all, and cool, not really very difficult. But Coinsite was one of the companies where I literally felt like it was the most difficult interview process for me in my life so far in my short career. They asked really, really, really difficult questions. I mean, looking at, they asked me to look at assembly level code generated by C++. They asked me to write some for loop in Python and C++, and they asked me, can you predict how much Python will be slower or faster than C++ code? I'm like, okay, I think 10 times slower than C++. And he's like, okay, can you run it? Can you go and run it on this how do you, I forgot the name, but it used to be Godbolt, right? So there he asked me to compile Explorer, right? Just try to generate the C++ code and try to see what it, shows you and then move forward. And then you go ahead and try to compile it now, check the compilation time. Like in terminal, I had to time it, right? And try to see, okay, Python was taking this much time, C++ was taking this much time. And fortunately, my assumption was very close. It was 13 times faster or something, slower than C++. I'm like, wow, it worked. And he was like, yeah, good. So, it was good. Really, really, I think around 4 to 5 rounds, all around C++, assembly level language. It was a PyTorch specific interview, right? So they were asking me about some metrics, calculations, and mathematics as well. That was when I cracked those interviews. I felt humbled, down to earth, and happy. Wow. So it was really nice. You don't know me says I would have used Hyperfine to test at times. I don't know about these libraries, man. I was like honestly, this performance thing, it was very early in the career, right? So I didn't really work on it a lot. So that's why. But yeah, maybe now. Yes, I know there are a lot of questions coming here. Actually, so LinkedIn profile, and I'm just curious to know how in 4 years your undergrad you managed to do like 6 to 7 internships. FBI, thank you so much for joining in. Looks like you did really a lot of investigation. Uh, Interesting name as well. I think I've been getting interesting people on my stream now. So it's good to know. Okay, would you mind just I'll quickly finish the interview process at Abnormal Security. Right? FBI in the chat, guys. Take cover, take cover. Cool. So I'll just finish my interview experience at Abnormal. I'm gonna come to all the questions, okay? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. It's my second or third time doing AMA. Okay. Wouldn't time command be the easiest instead? I mean, yes, like in an interview, I will not. I think what you don't know me said, like he was on a funnier note and also on a just trying to add a comment. So I'm pretty sure, like in an interview, you will try to just be as simpler as possible, not overcomplicated. And at that time, what library you used was not the question. The question was trying to understand it. How well do you guess which one is going to be the faster, and why do you think it's going to be faster, right? Because C++, when also you add an optimization flag, does different things, right? So they wanted to know how well do you know this, right? It's not about making a guess in assumption and all. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, you both are right, yeah. Cool. My experience at Abnormal Security was good as well. I think I was interviewed in 5 to 6 rounds, I believe. And at Coincide, what did they ask in other rounds? As I said, one was around assembly in C++. Second was around matrix multiplications. So they asked me how is a tensor arranged, and they asked me, okay, imagine that there's a tensor and you want to, I don't know, reverse it or something. So there's a tensor.view in PyTorch. Okay, so you do tensor.view, right? And you can convert a 3x2 metric to 2x3. So how will that happen? Right? That was a question like, okay, what does really happen when you do 3x2 to resizing, right? 2x3. As an example, it's been quite some time. I don't really remember the questions. I'm trying as much as possible. And then there was one more round about projects and all, resume round. Very, very nice, talking about, okay, what did you do? Why did you do? And all of that. Those questions were there as well. I think mostly around, as I said, C++ oriented questions, which will be useful for PyTorch job in Coincide. That's all I can tell right now, how much I remember. I'm so sorry. I think that's fairly what happened, and that's what I remember as well. So yeah, that should be enough. If you know, you'll be able to get in, hopefully, if they have the same process. So Abnormal Security happened. I think it's really, really good, right? Like Abnormal Security had wonderful interview process, right? At that time, Abnormal India interview process was not streamlined. I was the first Indian engineer hire in Abnormal Security. So before this, my manager was hired, but he had not officially joined. So, I was interviewed by the US folks and Singapore folks. So one of the rounds was around interactive coding kind of a round where they asked me to code some question. It involved algorithm. It involved some greedy process as well, but I can't name the question because of the NDA. I'm so sorry, guys. But that was not data structures round, I would say, but algorithmic round, yes. They were checking how I think about questions and how I think about the problem as well. And it involved some knowledge about threading and all, like, multiprocessing and all. It wasn't really using it, but you could have leveraged that if you wanted to, okay? If you would even mention that, that would go in your advantage that you know about it, okay? That's one thing. In terms of there was next round about managerial round as well. And they had a code review round where they past project review. That was one thing very interesting. They asked me to pick up a project that was my favorite. And they asked me that, okay, you have to present it, and we'll ask you questions. And there was an NDA that I can choose a project from my previous companies and they will not reveal it to anyone. And they can ask me questions and they can also mention something about abnormal. And that's an NDA that I will not have to, I can't open it out in public. Okay. So I'm, of course, not going to do that. But I chose a project that I worked on and it's open source now at Lightning AI when I worked, PyTorch Lightning organization. I chose that project because I had a really, really good knowledge about it. And it was recent as well. So I think it was good. They asked me really interesting questions that, why did you choose that path? What was the customer impact? So like abnormal is a voice culture, okay, which means velocity, ownership, intellectual honesty, customer obsession, and excellence. I repeat, velocity, ownership, intellectual honesty, customer obsession, and excellence. So they, in the interview process, they try to just grasp all these things that, okay, you were able to deliver something in time, velocity, good. Ownership, were you able to do it yourself? Taking up design and getting it reviewed by everyone, then trying to deliver it yourself to the customer end to end, if it's possible at all. Were you able to do that, for example, right? Ownership is something that comes up there. Intellectual honesty, when, for example, in the project review round, I did mention that it was not just me who did it, right? There was a team of 3 or 4 people who did some of the work, but most of it was done by me. Yes, that's true. And of course, with all the proofs, I mean, evidence I had on open source, that's one good thing about it. But even if not, they really appreciate you mentioning that it was not just you. Otherwise, they will get it, right? Engineers are smart enough to know that this guy is lying. Yeah. So intellectual honesty is very appreciated. Customer obsession is second thing. Whenever you do a project, right, you always want to be like, this is why I chose this path. Why? Because users would have liked it. Because if engineers were running a startup, buddy, startup will go down if they don't have a customer obsession thing. Because there's so many cool things to do here. For example, today, if I tell you guys, let's work on a project, like let's build a compiler from scratch, let's build an editor from scratch, let's build a browser from scratch. Why? Things exist. Why do you want to make a startup out of it? Unless until you have a goal that you're trying to solve this particular problem and there's a product market fit, right? So customer obsession is very important. You can't just keep on doing very, very cool things which are not useful for the user base. At the end of the day, it's about making profit. If you think you are building an NGO, that's not going to work out that way, right? So that's one thing. And then that's how it went. And excellence is, of course, how well did it execute and how well did you do it, right? They will ask you cross questions and that's it. Then I had some manager rounds. Again, very, very difficult questions asked in the manager rounds. If a lot of people think that manager rounds are very easy, right? That it's easier to get in, just, ask some cultural fit questions. No, my God, my manager round was very difficult. But nowadays, abnormal India process is streamlined, guys. Don't worry about it if you're India. But at that time, difficult questions were asked. That what is the thing that your previous manager will tell bad about you and good about you? I'm like, why am I going to tell you what he will tell bad about me, right? So there's, again, intellectual honesty. He's trying to grasp that thing that, okay, how well can he talk about, what other things that he didn't really do well? So, I mean, these are the things that, of course, went in the manager rounds and I was selected, of course. Yeah. I know there are a lot of questions. Let me quickly welcome. Hi, Shreyash. Thank you so much for joining. Darshan, you say cool project. Good to know. Hyperfine is a great tool to get metrics. If anyone wants to do stuff, remember the name. Okay, Grace Hopper, since you were the first engineer, how did you and they find them? You. And Nabin says, Nabin Uli, thank you so much for joining. This is your first time in the chat. Say hi in the chat. Hi. Data science is vast. How should I decide which niche to explore for internships? Great question. Great question. Okay. All right. I think, okay, first of all, I've done explaining what's the interview process in the companies I've interviewed at so far in my very short 4 year of BTech and 4 year of career, almost 4 year of career. So a lot of internships as well. And I do have 6 to 7 internships, not really 6 to 7, but quite a lot of internships I was doing. And I was an ambassador from 7th class to 12th class for a startup. So my life has evolved around laptops for a long time. So that's how it has been. And all right, there are now a few more questions, guys. All right, by the way, guys, if you're new to this stream, as a humble request, not a force, please consider subscribing to the channel. It keeps me motivated to stream every day. And since you guys are here, I would love to do more AMAs every week. So just a humble request, but no force at all. Cool. Grace Hopper, I'll come to that question. Nabin Oli, data science is vast. How should I decide which niche to explore for internships? Nabin, as I said, I crossed the abnormal security round with intellectual honesty. So I will be very honest. I'm not a data science person per se. I've done computer vision, deep learning, PyTorch development, which is software developer job mostly. I really like systems programming. I'm a backend engineer right now, but data science is vast. Yes, that is true. I would say choose the problem in any, because this answer I'm trying to get into core of it. How would you explore for internships? Okay. And I tell you what, even in the future, when you try to switch for a company or something, right? There are two things I like on a very, not for company specific things, of course, work culture, pay. If you think pay doesn't matter, you guys are wrong. Focus on the pay as well. Don't get underpaid in a company, guys. Okay. But in any ways, to explore for internships, always focus on the kind of problem the company is trying to solve. Google and Microsoft are not trying to solve problems anymore, right? Like they're huge companies. There are particular teams that are trying to solve a problem. Okay. So, of course, in big tech companies, it's not a thing that you can comment on that. Okay, this is the problem they're trying to solve. But for startups, for example, let's say if you're very focused on finance, you really like finance things like trading and all, you really want to understand how it all works. So maybe look for fintech companies or like Paytm and all, or you can choose for hedge fund companies like D, Shaw and all, right? So, and then you focus on what kind of data science they do. Because in all these trading things, like data science is very, very, very important, right? Now, in that case, then you try to understand what is required for me to achieve that goal where I can work for such a company and create an impact. Now, what are the skills that are required, right? So go backwards. After 5 years, what do you want to do? Then you try to like Google about it. Let's say search, right? And then you say that, okay, for example, let's say for myself, I love systems programming. Okay. So I would have loved to create a terminal and being used by multiple people, right? And I would have loved to create a browser which is used by everyone, right? Google Meet, how does it all work? How does tab switching work? All these things excite me a lot. So what I would do generally is, okay, I'll go to their code base. I'll try to understand what are the data structures they use. What is the most important, what are the most important algorithms that are important, right? Game engines, all these things. Now, you'll be surprised, graph algorithm, Dijkstra's algorithm is used in text graphical engines, right? How you're typing. It's possible that Dijkstra is used there. I will make a video on it. It's very interesting. NeoVim, for example, it uses linked list, right? So my idea was, okay, now look at the product. What is required to build a product? Then you learn that thing. Okay. If you start opposite, you learn something and then you realize, okay, now I have to solve a problem. What you will end up doing is say that, okay, I only know this thing. I'll only solve this problem using this thing. Then you will stay in a very younger age. You'll be very narrow. Like, I don't want to do anything else other than data science, other than computer vision. That is what my professor told as well. I was like this. I was very clear that I want to do computer science. And so we had this electronics courses as well, mandatory electronic courses, right? And I was not paying a huge ton of attention. I've scored A plus in all my electronic courses. It's not like that. Subtle flex, yeah, I know. But I used to be very religious about it. But my professor came and told that, Kush, I know that you're interested in this thing, but always keep you are very young in this career. Don't limit yourself to a particular field. I was in third year and I was like, I want to do masters or something. And just by fourth year, my mind was changed. Nowadays my X factor is what? That I know a lot of computer science with a pinch of salt about electronics. Not a lot of people will be found who know good computer science and also slightly about robotics and all, microcontrollers, microprocessors, all these things. So his advice was really important. So that's what I would say. How should I decide which particular subfield to choose? Look at the products that companies are trying to solve. Then you end up talking to people who are working in those companies. How do you use data science to solve this problem, right? And then you pick up that field if that interests you a lot. That's what my suggestion is. But I'm sorry, I'm not the best in data science. I'm not even good in data science. So I will apologize in advance if my advice is not worth it for you. And you under subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing, by the way. And thank you so much, whoever is joining, guys. Thank you. Please say hi at least. I would not. Hey, hi, what specific task or projects do you typically focus on as a backend engineer? See, that's a great question, right? That's all. I guess you missed my question. Okay, guys, would you mind if I just keep on um, questions? Yeah, I know I was going through this. So this is cover up. Guys, please hold on. Okay, I'm trying to do my best. There's no moderator in the chat right now, so I'll apologize in advance. Sorry about that. Um, I actually saw your LinkedIn profile. I'm just curious to know that how in your 4 years of undergrad you managed to do. Okay, how about this, guys? Let me open my LinkedIn and actually walk through it, right? That what did I do and why did I do? I mean, not why, because I did things. I have no idea why. It just happened. It just so happened I did some things. Cool. Let's hide the chat for now. You guys can see this is all my 14 experiences. This is supposed to be a queue, guys, not a stack. Take questions from FIFO. First in, first out. Yeah, there you go. You don't know me. Would you mind if I make you the moderator and you kind of handle some things for me, if that's fine for you? I hope you don't mind. I mean, just so I gave you a lot of permissions just now. I hope you will help me with the chat for some time. If you don't have to. I mean, though. Cool. So this is what I have, right? Okay. First of all, okay, you're a moderator now. Congratulations. We have a new moderator. Okay, enough of this. So this thing started, right? Technical content creator, not a huge internship. I was just, this was my first year, 2 months of internship. There were a lot of people who were working on this, and all my like friends said, like, let's work on this. Let's write some technical blogs. Honestly, a really good experience trying to explore few topics and trying to write about those things. When you end up writing about your feelings and your knowledge, you learn a lot. I wrote a single blog. That's it. Nothing too fancy. OpenStudy.com. My something that made me who I am right now. One of the things that made me, it was from my 2013. I was around in 9th class or something, 9th standard. Very young, very mature, and the founders were really kind. It's now occupied by Brainly, but I designed newsletters for them. I was a designer. I was a lead of newsletter program for them in my 10th or 11th standard. I was talking to all the people of different age groups in the US. Used to meet with them, used to create things, and I was also the ambassador of the month in my 8th class or something. So yeah, that was it. Was not an internship. I was an ambassador, more like a volunteering thing, but taught me a lot. That's why if you guys think I'm good in communication, if you guys think if I'm bad, then also credits goes to openstudy.com. If you think I'm good, a lot of credits goes to them. A lot of credits go to them. Goes. Okay. English is difficult. Triple IT Gwalia. I did winter research internship. Yes. So whenever summer will come, guys, this is emotional topic for me. And a lot of people, maybe I'll talk about this in a different stream. Not today, it's emotional, so I will skip that part. But I had a really, really difficult time in terms of health. In second year or something, took me a year to learn how to run. It took me a lot of months to learn how to walk properly after recovering from the health issue. So I was far away from home as well. I was born and brought up in a very small township called Suratgarh Thermal Power Station Colony, STPS Colony. It's in Rajasthan. It's on the border, close to border of India and Pakistan. So my life has, like, all my 18 years of starting from nursery to 12th class, 12th standard, I've spent there. I've done no coaching. I've not taken drop. I've not I've not done any offline coaching. I've definitely went through some online, not classes per se, but test series. No, I don't know what I've done, but yeah, that's how I completed my 12th standard, and I did score well, 94.8% in 12th CBSE board. So I was not like, even though I was in a village or township per se, but I used to enjoy studies a lot. I was very, very, it was entertaining for me. So that's what I've done. So coming from that to college, my parents were 35 hours away, 35 hours journey away, if by train, right? 25 hours to Jaipur and 10 hours to my place. right? And if I had to take flight as well, it would be to Delhi, then Delhi to Jaipur. That would again cost 7 to 8 hours, and then from there 10 hours of bus or something. So I was ill, and at that time, yes, my parents came over and learned a lot. So because I was very far away from my place, my hometown, I never like I. It was not like okay, summers are coming, I'm going home. Hi Devashish, thank you so much for joining. Ta-da, welcome, welcome. So I'm just talking about yeah. So every summers, I would look forward to doing something out of it, right? So I would stay back in my college. All of my friends, so the college was new. A lot of people were from Raipur itself, so they would go home, and there were very few people who were staying back. Very very few. Like at night, I was alone, and there was this window that used to close in the corridor, and I'm telling you, I used to be so afraid. I would run back to my hostel room and say, like, I'm not going out. So that was the condition, right? So every time I would stay back in my college, I was missing my parents a lot. I was missing my home, but at the same point of time, I thought that okay, I'm here. I want to do something. So I ended up finding internships. Not really finding, but looking forward to do something, even if it is not paid, even if it is not for this and that. I used to look forward to it, right? And now this generation is different. Now, I mean, I say this generation, you guys would think I'm part of this generation. That is not true. I'm old. I'm 25. Because every 2 years this generation gap comes, by the way. Hi Jay, thank you so much for joining. So for us, even earning 5,000 rupees a month in an internship was huge. I'm telling you. Like, I would feel independent. I'm like, yes, I can go and have something in canteen. And even now, when I go out, when I come back to my home in Bangalore, I message my parents. When I'm buying something huge, I take permission from them, no matter how much I earn. Right. So this used to come from there. And that's why a lot of internships you will see that I was looking forward to do something. And internship was just a way to do it, right? So that's what happened over here. That's what I did at Reply to Galia. This was very interesting, by the way. Like I was with my senior, Ashish Upadhyay sir, and we were working on this, trying to figure out how would drones communicate with each other, UAVs, right? And using A-star search, probabilistic distance, so genetic algorithms. So we created a demo out of it, learned a lot. That's what we have done. These are not internships. These were volunteering of my college fest and all. So I would just skip that. I was a SEC head, yes, science and technology head. These two clubs were started during my tenure. Very proud about this thing. I think people have done well in the clubs respectively. Big Vision LLC during my college days was what I started. So I was in computer vision, as I said. So I reached out to a person and on LinkedIn, and at that time his profile showed he was a professor or something, but I didn't know he had a startup. So he said, okay, maybe you can work on these things, and that's how I used to earn every month. He used to pay me on hourly basis, and I wrote a few blogs on how to do Convexel using OpenCV in everything in C++ and Python. And image quality assessment was one of the nicer projects I've done, and also landed into OpenCV as an open source contribution later on. So yeah, did a bit of C# as well, by the way, for a client. So yeah, it was good. Then I went to NTU Singapore for internship. This thing, going outside India, guys, I'll always suggest you get out of your comfort zone once in life. When I went, okay, let me. This guy modernized OpenCV site. Which guy? Dr. Satya Malik, is it? Yeah, could be. Yeah, he's now the CEO of OpenCV. I don't know if he is still the CEO, but yeah. So when I went to NTU Singapore, right, people used to come on time here. Like 12 o'clock meeting, 11:59, doors open, everyone in the room. I'm like, what's happening? If 12 o'clock meeting, 12:15 people will come in India, right? And like I am very time specific, right? So like for example, in Singapore they have early lunch, so something around 11 or 10:30, 11 or 11:30 they will be finished with lunch. Okay, so like all of us, whoever were interns there, right, some people from IIT as well, we used to go together for lunch. Okay, so I said let's go early because we have a meeting at 12 o'clock, right? And it started raining. So in 2018 or something, it used to rain a lot in Singapore, right? The weather used to be really good. Now it has changed slightly from what I hear. So I used to say that, okay, now time is up, 11:45, I need to go, because buses were also on time. And that's very surprising, right? Coming from India, where think that, yeah, bus will be, we'll see, it could be 5 minutes early, it could be 5 minutes late. It's not just late, right? Things are changing, yeah. But at that time, I used to run. Even if it's raining, I'm like, no, I'm going. So I would run to that bus. I'll take that. I'll go be in the office. And it's never been like I've been late. But all the other interns were always late. Not always, but most of the times, right? That's one thing that Singapore has taught me a lot. So I owe a lot of credits to them. Worked on really good projects, number plate detection. It sounds very easy, guys. I'm telling you one thing. The problems that exist right now are still very, very naive. If you look at number plate detection, license plate detection, right? And if you look at the benchmarks, we are still not there, right? Given a lot of rains, a lot of obstruction here and there, we are still stuck on solving very basic problems. Text detection, for example. You think it's already there? No, you're wrong. At least back in that time, I realized, I'm like, why are we doing number plate detection? I mean, license plate detection sounds like a solved problem, right? Like it sounds very easy. Yeah, like even for example, sorting a number, it's like sorting an array for deep learning people. License plate detection, yeah, use normal OpenCV things and you'll be done. No, it's not true. Given when you go in real time, when you look at the performance and you look at the FPS drop, and then you try to understand what's the accuracy, oh God, you're done. That's what it taught me a lot. Devashish, we have got a wild bus weird kind of scenario. Yeah, that's true. And then, of course, how you manage your college along with internship of California and Singapore. FBI, in terms of internship of California, I was in India only. I was doing it remotely. And have I mentioned California? Because the startup is in California. I'm sorry about that. I hope I mentioned somewhere that it was remote. If not, I apologize. But yes, I was in my college itself, but I used to find time. When people say it's very hard to find time, I'm like, look at your schedule. Where are you spending a lot of time and try to optimize on that, right? So I've been able to, if you're interested in knowing how do I manage time, how did I manage time, we can talk about that. Singapore, I went for summer holidays. We were given time to go to Singapore and do an internship. So it was summer break and I went there. What does ideal internship look like? By the way, I hope I've answered most of the questions. I hope so. I mean, these are like when I came back from COVID, it was an internship though, but it was mix of internship and full time. So I just put it internship here. And NVIDIA I already talked about. So hopefully it's all clear. How you manage your, yeah, this is, if you want to know about time management, let me know. What does ideal internship look like? Since this question is related to the ongoing question, guys, I'll pick this up. What does ideal internship look like? Also, people usually do one internship. Does doing multiple internship is okay? What does an ideal internship look like? I don't know, yeah. I mean, see, first of all, in 2 months, you're not going to learn a lot, especially if you're interning at a big company, right? Expect probably from, except, did you mean there are no ideal interns in India today, except probably from top firms? First of all, hi, thank you so much for joining. I learned Git. Yeah. Like, see, in big tech companies, when you're going for internships, from what I've heard, they will have this onboarding and offboarding. That totally takes around 15 days per onboarding and all. They spend a lot of time catching up with team members and all. So in terms of tech, I think they'll just look forward to getting a PPO forward and all. So if that's your goal, sure, go ahead and do it. But to me, internship has always been, first of all, the interview process. I didn't used to acknowledge typical lead code rounds at that time. I don't mind them right now because of the process and all. I'm right now in even interview people, not for lead code questions, but I understand where other companies are coming from. At that time, I was immature. So I used to just look forward to particular things I wanted to do in life. And whichever company is doing it, no matter what, how much they are earning, no matter what they're trying to, I mean, no matter how many people they have in the company, I would say that I want to do this. Yes. Right. At that time, even now, I know I'm going to be controversial about it. And given that I have an advantage of not having enough subscribers right now, I can say that as a guy, getting an internship was difficult. Getting shortlisted was difficult. Okay. It was not easy. Okay, just to get a response from the manager was not easy. A girl would do it in front of me, message the same manager. I will do the same. Almost similar profile. In fact, I would argue that I had slightly better projects. She had no projects, so I would say at least I had some things. He never responded to me. I'm talking about manager from a big tech company. Okay, he never responded. And same within 1 hour, he responded to that girl. Right? He said like, "What are you looking for? I can help refer." I'm like, buddy, you're this old. I mean, I would have not minded if he would have ignored both of us or something, but literally I'm seeing where he's coming from, right? So it has not been easy. It has not been easy. A lot of guys will agree. It happens all the time. Yeah, Jay, I mean, I know you all know, and we all know, right? So, and if people disagree, I'm like, we can talk about it, but experiences have been there, and people still, I mean, only girl hiring, only women hiring. Where do guys go? Right? What did we earn? Like, what am I doing on GitHub then? So that's what my point was, that no, I don't want to be in this politics. I had no reference. I don't know anyone. I didn't study from DPS. My seniors are not in big tech companies. They chose a path for themselves. That's fine. But I am not one of those privileged ones where I can say that my senior is in this company, I can get a referral. My senior is this company. I'm not jealous. I'm not envying them, but I'm not one of those people. So I had to work hard for getting those references when I can't keep on pleading to everyone that please respond to my message. I'm a guy. It's okay. And, you know, but anyways, I got here now. I respond to everyone on LinkedIn. It's not at all that you know, I respond to girls as well. I respond to boys as well. It's as simple as that. If you want to grow, don't pull uh, any other gender's leg to just be forward. That's not how it works. That's my belief. You want to be in that race, compete. That's it. You have same mind, you have same brain. Government has even um, we pay 2,000 rupees for JMains entrance. You don't. Okay, all right. Yeah, this question I have to answer. All right, quickly. So people do one internship. I think you should, in terms of internships, nowadays, like from the first day itself, don't try to get into that race that you want to do an internship. Uh, Try to do projects. Okay, one internship is fine. Two internships are fine as long as there's an outcome that you can mention in your resume. That is the bar you want to set in your resume. That's it, right? You don't want to say that I worked as an intern in XYZ company. What were you doing for 2 months? You don't know, right? So try to pick up a project, work under a professor as well. You can call that as an internship, sure, right? But have really good projects in your resume, along with, of course, competitive coding and data structures. That's something I. Okay, Grace Hopper, that's the first question you asked. Or you, what specific projects do you typically focus on as a backend engineer? Many companies are coming for campus interviews and they're looking for girls only. And college बोलता है तुम place नहीं होते. Yeah. I read a news in which you got 1 crore offer on campus. So tell me something about this. By the way, this news led me to your LinkedIn and YT. Oh, FBI, are you from my college though? Just curious. I mean, no, I'll not, of course, have a bias, but of course. Okay. Grace Hopper, I'm going to come to this question and then I'm going to, first, I'm just going to quickly answer Orio's question. What specific tasks or projects do you typically focus on as a backend engineer? See, again, backend engineering is huge. In terms of what projects you might focus on, I think something where you have built like on a design level, you have built something end to end, right? How would your API will look like, for example? How are people going to call it? Simple. I'll tell you an example. API is not very huge concept, right? API is something that is being called. You have an interface, people are going to call it, right? And that's it, right? So I would probably say that, okay, think about, as an example, Visual Studio Code, you have an LSP. When you do go to definition, it's going to call something, and that's an API call, right? So I would probably explore some projects around API development for sure. It's one part of it. Try to think about Django interface for your project and all. Those things, I think, really, really good. Django is underrated. Instagram works on Django, if I'm not wrong. So try to build something which is really, really powerful, right? Look at like authentication, right? How does it work? Even implementing OAuth 2 in your own Django application. I know they have default authentication as well, right? you can do that as well. And yes, API is not equal to REST API. Yes, I'm going to come to other questions as well quickly. Understanding gRPC, right? I think Raft is also there. If I'm not wrong, yeah, you guys Raft, yes. I think this is also, if you can try implementing this on your own, this consensus protocol, right? Yeah, I mean, GraphQL is also there, right? Different things have come up. You should ideally explore them and build something out of it, right? Build something as a backend engineer. It's not like you can't ship things. Django as a default admin interface, it doesn't take you a lot of knowledge. So definitely try exploring that thing. I think this is good. Optimizing a few pipelines here and there also help. So I think I would say probably working on, I don't know, looking at existing, like I would even probably consider scheduling algorithms, right? Like you guys know round robin, first come first serve and all, right? Think about these scheduling algorithms and what can you do out of it, right? I would say that build a sample, we build operating systems, right? Do you remember that we earlier in the day people used to build all these things? So I would say even focus on these things. Yeah. If that helps, yes. And Context Pilot RS is a very, very good example. That's a project I'm working on right now, guys. I'm gonna come to the next question, guys. So hold on, okay? And whoever is new, please, you guys need to subscribe and you don't need to. Sorry, my bad. You don't need to. You can, if you can, that would be great. Okay. The shameless plug. I know, should not do that more often. But Context Pilot RS is a really good example of how I implemented database sharding, how I implemented my own database. I think these are really, really good things to do, right? Understanding how does it work and why do you need it. Don't go like, hey, your database queries are slow, what will you do about it? Yeah, I'll do subquery, I'll use subquery and all. No, try to use your own database for a particular project. Try to bring it to scale, publish it to PIP package. If you're doing it in Python, right? When people start using it, you'll realize, okay, it's very slow. Then you understand that this is what is important, right? Then that's what you realize, okay, this is going to be very important, right? And that's my quick opinion. I'm so sorry if I didn't cover. You can ask follow-up questions, okay? I'm trying my best, okay? Since you were the first engineer, how did you or they find them in you? I think, so in my previous company, I was laid off, brother. I don't have anything to hide. I was laid off from that company and I was looking for a job. So when they told that they are laying off most of the people from India and Europe, it was not just me, of course. There were fellow mates who were in this journey together. When they communicated this thing, so I started looking for a job. My brother had, when I got laid off, it was a very beautiful moment for me because I was not expecting to, I had a call with vice president and things were going really, really well for me. I was performing good. But I don't blame the company. I think they really handle it well. I have all the respect for them. So when they told me about this, I'm like, okay, relax, guys. It's not your fault. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm going to take some time off and I'm going to come back to you if I have any questions. But that's it. Right? They gave severance and all. So I was happy. I told my parents in the WhatsApp chat, guys, your son is laid off. He doesn't have a job. And my mother says, come downstairs and chai bana deti hu. Let me cook some tea for you. Right? So I cried. Yes, that's true. I mean, who else will not cry, right? Losing a job unexpectedly. But that's when I started running a lot. I ran 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers every day. I used to cry while running. That was a fun period. I think I lost a lot of good weight. And then I told my brother, right? So he immediately messaged his IIIT Bangalore alumni. He had done some course from IIIT Bangalore. He's a BITS Pilani graduate. So he emailed, and my manager was also a graduate from IIIT Bangalore. So he looked at my profile and he reached out to me, my abnormal securities manager. And then he said, if you want to apply, and I'm like, yeah, thank you so much. I'll love to apply. I didn't know what the company name was. I didn't know what they do. I'm like, no, I just want to work. That's it. At that time, I realized a lot of things, like what is, according to Indian market, what is required. You guys, no matter how much cool things you do, for example, you're doing Haskell, you're doing this OCaml and all, if you're staying in India, at least understand Indian market, at least understand what gets Indian companies money. How do you earn profit? After getting laid off, that's what I understood. You can't just keep on following cool terms and then at the end of the day, yeah, I lost a job, and I have no. I'm like, for example, for me to get a job in India was not easy at all, right? Because who cares about your developing PyTorch? Um, who cares about all these things? So thank you so much. By the way, you don't know me trying to catch up on chat, but yeah, that was it. I miss the question? So that's how they found me up, and I'm immensely grateful to them. I read a news in which you got 1 crore offer. Yes, so tell me something about this. By the way, in this news, let me to your LinkedIn and YT. Oh, you're not from my college as well. FBI, thank you so much. First of all, it was not fake. I was definitely earning around um, $48 per hour or something, and they definitely funded my travel and stay. So um, during my internship, definitely it was not fake. So it was uh, something I learned and all. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. I'll get to this. I need to apologize. I know, but I'll quickly get to that. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I was reached out by a person. I used to write a lot of blogs on my kashimani.github.io. You guys can check it out. Okay, there you go. Man, I type fast. Yeah, that's good. So if you go to the blog section and go to the previous blogs, I used to write blogs how to do deep learning in C++, and they reached out to me and very kind enough though. I used to get some feedback from them that how is my blog and all. Never thought that they are working on NVIDIA. I didn't know as well. Then they reached out if you're looking for internship. I'm like, yes, sure. That's how it all happened, and I got selected. Yeah, that's it. That's the story. Simple, steady. I came back to India because of COVID, and I wanted to stay in India with my parents, close to my parents at least. From PyTorch to backend Django, did you have to learn from scratch? Asking because seems you had already good knowledge of PyTorch than most people. It was difficult, yes. I mean, see, right now I'm a backend engineer. I've never thought that I'll work on databases, for example, right? It was difficult for sure. I had to quickly switch gears and try to understand these things. But I think I was always a developer. Developing PyTorch is different to using PyTorch, right? So I was developing PyTorch. I was always a developer. So in PyTorch as well, when users call things, you try to understand what are the kernel calls. You try to get optimization done and all. More like a systems programming thing, compiler things as well. Not backend, I would say, but still close to what development means, right? I like to call myself a software engineer. I'm not a backend person. I'm not a front end person. I'm a software engineer. Whatever it takes to solve a problem, I'll do it. That's it. Except front end, I can't do front end at all. You guys look at my thumbnails, I can't do it, right? So yeah, that was it. I guess you rejected that offer because of COVID. Yeah, I'm not really rejected the offer. I came in between of internship. I told them I need to go home. They had started work from home, and just before Janta count, what do you call it? Whatever they had, right? We had to stay home and all. Just one day before I came back. It was a wise call to make. Yeah. So that's it. What else is there? Why competitive coding? My last question. Yes, I'm from Nepal and I grew up in India. Hey, Navin. Good to know for sure. How can I find internships in India? I consider I'm in Nepal as Bachelor of Data Science student. Okay, so you are in Nepal right now as Bachelor of Data Science student. I mean, apply to startups, buddy. Get a pay. That's it. I don't think it's not really difficult, as long as you have good projects, you'll get in. That's it. That's all I have to say. And if you're not getting in, trust the process. As the great Kushal Shishmali and Mahendra Singh Dhoni both said the same thing. Trust the process. You'll get the results now or later. But also make sure that you're visible. Now is not a time where you say that, yeah, I did projects, but no one is hiring. Buddy, you didn't share on LinkedIn. See, people are spamming LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not Instagram, I agree. But that doesn't mean that you don't use a platform to share what you have been doing. I get 30 likes on my LinkedIn post. That's it. That's all I get. But I don't care how many likes I get. I'll put it out there so that any recruiter, any manager wants to look at my LinkedIn, they'll find relevant content. That's it. Yeah. 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 Twitter as well, right? For example, I think Twitter has really good startups. I think Twitter is a good place. X now. Why competitive coding? Okay, it makes sense to learn data structures and algorithms and get good at it, but competitive coding, are we really doing any competitive coding in here, even when this hype? No, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry about that. I meant data structures and algorithms. I would apologize. That's it. I don't have any reason. But if you're doing it, sure, great. It's not easy. It's not my cup of tea for sure. I mean, I did slightly, but I mean, I crossed interviews as well without doing competitive coding. But For interview specific or even for work, data structures and algorithms is more than enough. In fact, I hate people who write A equal to 2. This thing, when you write in an interview, and Google and Microsoft might not care, but buddy, if you're doing this in a startup and you say that my linter will work, no, like a lot of things, you look at this int x equal to 2 and all, like they'll do this in the, like when you look at the contest solutions for a lot of Indians, they don't know how to write neat like code, how to like so that people can read code properly, right? I believe you should focus on both. And there's a guy who really, Josh, lead code winning. I can actually share his channel with you all. Yeah, Joshua Chen. I think he was ranked number one on lead code. You guys need to look at his videos about lead code biweekly contest, right? He does it in 20 minutes, 18 minutes and all. His way of writing code is fabulous, right? And that's the kind of person I wanted to be. Even if I do competitive coding, I don't want to sacrifice my principles and, coding principles as well, just to solve a problem. No. And he still wins. So I would definitely suggest if you guys want to look at him. Yeah, please come on, guys. Please like the video and subscribe if you can, if it's possible for you. How do you use any code assistant like ChatGPT? Yes, I do use Amazon Code Whisper. I'm not tried. I'm happy with ChatGPT right now, Grace. I'm sorry for missing this message. I do use it very regularly, specifically for boring tasks. Like for example, I give it a data and I say that beautify this, because when I'm sharing with some other person, I want to make sure that they are getting it properly. I'm Saf. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Any questions I missed? I think this is done. Yes, this is done. I'm Saf. Thank you, guys. 40 people. Yes, please. So sorry to hear that. Thank you so much for the empathy. So please tell me the roadmap of DevOps. I think it's in terms of DevOps, the roadmap.sh is really, really good. Krishna, thank you so much for joining, by the way. I also, as I said, I don't know whether Made with ML has MLOps or DevOps. Probably MLOps, but madewithml.com is also really good. About Helix, yes. That was the very first question you asked. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think I answered this one. You're doing cool things. You're doing Haskell. Are you a person? No, I'm really sorry, Darshan. I apologize from the depth of my heart. So depth that you can't even understand. What I meant was just, thinking, like doing things without understanding how market works is what I meant. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I didn't mean it. Like for example, Rust, like people are just hopping into Rust. I'm like, why are you doing it? Do you need to do it? You're a front-end developer. You don't need to do Rust right now, right? Don't, for sure, for learning it's great, right? Learn something if you are curious, sure. But also understand what's in the market. That's all I meant. Because after laying off, that's something I realized. PyTorch and ML are at least still a bit relevant in India market. ML for sure, PyTorch is yes, but developing PyTorch, being a contributor to PyTorch, that's what I meant. So that's a bit different, yeah. And that's what I meant. I'm Fixer. Okay, I think I forgot it was not offensive at all. Yes, thank you so much for understanding. You said, okay. All right, that's okay. Guys, 1 second. Okay, just let me take a deep breath. All right, I think I'm doing well so far. You guys are being really, really patient with me. Thank you so much. I'll answer one question about Helix. I've tried it once. I like Westorm as my emulator, right? I use that as a daily driver. I use NeoVim. I don't use any other editor specific thing, or I don't even use any other cooked config. I think I remember, I don't know, Helix is a lot of inbuilt things that I don't understand right now. If I don't understand something, I don't feel like using it. Like NeoVim codebase, I know. I read through these plugins as well every day. What are the releases and all. Helix is something I don't need to use right now because I'm very comfortable with NeoVim. But in terms of opinions, I think they are trying to solve a problem. Definitely like inbuilt LSP. If I'm not wrong, they come up with an LSP, right? I think yes, it seems like to be useful for a lot of people. Devashish, I think this link he wanted to share. So please feel free to. Jeremy. Oh yeah, I remember Jeremy said that he's gonna live stream about this, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Devashish. In fact, I agree with you. It's not for job anyway. If there is any, right? If there is any. No comments. I think skilled people will come and unsubscribe, and unsubscribing is fine, but I don't want them to put negative comments. He said what I believe a great advice about research about what brings money to the company in India. I want to know how to approach this. Grace, the best way to approach this is look at companies, like look at their job roles, for example, right? When you, like, for example, today I was looking at browser company, like Arc Browser, if you know, right? I was going through their roles, not like I'm applying to them right now, but I was trying to understand what I do at Abnormal. Does it relate to what I want to do in the future? You know, so that I can talk to my manager and say that, it doesn't really align with my goals, right? That's how you know that this is in the market. This is what they are asking for. This is what I'm doing right now, but it doesn't really align, right? So, like for example, big tech companies use really legacy code, legacy tech stack, and all. But now companies are requesting Rust. Like Microsoft is hiring for Rust in UK, for example, right? So you need to understand that, okay, if I'm doing Java in my current company, I don't have any hit rate for Java, but then you need to understand, okay, now for me to get there, I might have to do more of this language or more of this tech stack. So try to work on side projects, right? Like I don't do Rust in my day-to-day job, and I'm not forcing them. If they are doing it, I'm like, why are you doing Rust? Things are working fine. You're earning much. Like, we have sales, right? Let's just focus on that. That's what I would say. But of course, I mean, leadership is far, far, far important, more knowledgeable. But yeah, that's what I would say. So just going with cool terms and all is not something as a company they should do. But also you should be aware, look at the roles, look at the open roles, look at what they're trying to do. What tech stack does Microsoft use? What tech stack does any startup use? Browser company use? What do they do? WAP, for example, the terminal they are building in Rust. How did they do that? Swift is important, for example, for browser company. Then you try to understand, okay, I want to work there. I want to solve this problem. Swift is what is going to take it. Okay. That's how I do it. Okay. How do you, it was not offensive at all. Thank you so much. I hope I answered your question, guys. How do you show your backend projects? Showing just only CRUD seems boring. I end up creating a full stack out of it, right? For example, Context Pilot RS that I worked on, it has a NeoVim plugin. It has a VS Code extension, right? So that's what I do. Like if you, like, let's say a lot of people, even deep learning, right? Think about this. They created a model. They said, okay, for that you need pip install Torch. Then you need to have a GPU in your system, and then it will work. What kind of demo is that? All it needs is you can create an Android app and deploy that. Just import that model, convert that if it's TensorFlow, TF-Lite, get into that Android app, build it. Nobody cares about the interface. There's a POC. So always, I mean, personally, I would say having POCs are really, really good way to do that. Yeah. Because someone can immediately go and use it. That's it. That's all I mean. So for example, I'll give you a really good example, right? Guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to open my GitHub and guys, I'm going to come to your questions. Okay. Please hold on. Don't, what was it? Yeah, there you go. You got it. Yeah. Over here. I'm going to hide the chat for now. So this is a project I was working on. So when I was interning at Reply to Galia, right? 7 years back, okay? So heuristics, for example, I wanted to visualize things, right? So this is a sample web page I created. So when you click on two things, 56, 162, when you hit escape, it will give you straight line distance. That's just 225, right? If I click on two other things, if I click escape, it's going to straight line distance, okay? And what if I do this and I think there was enter, it will give you, what do you call it? What is the distance, guys? Do you remember? Something like Manhattan distance, right? So I just wanted to look at, yeah. So see, for the Manhattan distance, yeah. So I wanted to understand, like, just wanted to create a demo because at the end we were trying to understand about A* search and all. So I'm like, yeah, let's just create this distance, right? Euclidean, and yes, yeah, you all are right. You all are smart, yeah. So like you see, it's very fun, right? So just creating a demo out of it doesn't take a lot of energy, yeah. And he's right. I did understand. I mean, I did look at Coding Train. Coding Train, dude, he was, I mean, I know he still does things, but damn, that guy got me into computer science. But like, not really got me into it, but amazing person. Amazing. You know, just the sense of how a YouTuber should be, how a professor should be. Outstanding. Like, I think he has done so much good to the generation, right? I mean, I hope a lot of people actually, because see, watching him is a different thing, but actually trying to replicate what he has done will get you enough knowledge about what kind of projects you want to do. Trust me. Cool. What's the other question? Getting started with CUDA. Yeah, I think CUDA is a documentation. See, I was at NVIDIA, Kushal. Thank you so much for joining, by the way. So documentation, no, is not the only way. I would say there's a Pacty book as well, CUDA parallel programming. You should pick that up. And yeah, I think Jeremy Howard did create a video about it. So you can please go forward and take a look at it. But at the end of the day, I think CUDA examples are really good. So, trying to understand, just do matrix multiplication by default and then try to use CUDA. Like OpenCL, is it OpenCL? I think by default, Intel also has this thing, right? So, I mean, try to compare, understand both of these things. You don't want to be stuck with CUDA. What are you trying to learn? You're trying to learn parallel programming, right? So, get into the depth of what it is and try to use different libraries. I mean, CUDA is not the only thing, right? CUDA is, for example, people can get into a company which requires CUDA if you know some other tech stack, which is relevant. Okay? So, that is also possible. Guys, give me 1 second. My mom is calling. मम्मी is calling. हाँ माँ मम्मा स्ट्रीम पे हूँ, आप मेरा यूट्यूब चलाओ. हाँ कोई बात नहीं, रोक जैसा हुआ, बाय. हाँ ठीक है, वो भी ट्रैवल कर रहा है. ओके, थैंक यू माँ, बाय बाय बाय. ओके ओके बाय. सॉरी गाइस. Yeah, she's like, oh sorry. Then my father is like in the background. So my friend came over to Jaipur and he got Mohit. He got sweets and snacks for them. So he's like, Mohit ko kehna, everything is really sweet and all. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And I told them I'm gonna stream, but it's okay. They forgot. It's fine. And now they'll open YouTube and on TV, so they generally watch. Even my mother watches from the hospital when she was admitted. So one of the reasons I stream, staying away, I think they get to see me. I left my Rust job and I don't regret doing it. I wanted to learn software engineering from first principle and not deal with really abstract frameworks and Python, which I was doing before. Exactly that thing, right? Guys, one thing I've learned, and I'll tell you, hi Abdul, thank you so much for joining. What's up? Da, 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 da. That's my welcome tune. The thing is that focus on what solves the problem. बाकी सब गया भाड़ में. That's it, right? As an example, by default, we have learned that freedom can be guaranteed without any protests. You can do just normal documentary work and you can do, but no wars were needed. Whatever gets things done, do it. That's it. पहले के ज़माने में you can't just go and say that, hey, this thing is ours, you just have to leave now. It's like, yeah, prove it. We are here, fight with us. That's it. And now you can't just say that, okay, no, but I have learned theoretically, this is how it works. You have to leave from here. This is our place. No, you have to fight. So, I mean, don't go and fight right now on the streets. People will really put me in jail right now. But what I meant is in terms of tech stack, don't be like, okay, theoretically, I know that this is going to work. Practically, what is required, I'll do it. So when you get hired in a company, I got to know that there was someone who applied in my current company and they're like, why do you not use Rust? It's much better. I'm like, buddy, Django has been so much scalable before and it has been is used by Instagram as well, right? You get a lot of people who know Django. As long as it works, let it be, Cool. That's it. Good to know. Thank you so much for sharing experience. Hey, Abdul, thank you so much for joining. P5, I remember the coding train. Yeah, fun person, Manhattan. Yes. Amazing, dude. Yeah, coding train is amazing. Coding is one of the OGs. Yeah, energy compares to Prime. Yeah, I think Prime has gotten to a reaction mode. Coding train has never been, he has never made reaction videos or something, He has always been doing the rightful thing. And I think amazing person, outstanding person. I don't hate reaction videos. I mean, I'm at some point in time, I might do it as well if I have any reaction to make. But coding train, dude, that guy, so cute. Thank you so much. Does language matters for DSA? We have Java in third semester. Will it be okay for data science? My reason for Java is its resources. First of all, I don't relate with Kunal Kushwaha Nabin. I think, should I say this? No, right? He has a lot of subscribers. No, I'll not fear in saying this thing. I don't think no, okay. No, I don't think he's the best YouTuber to look at. Depends on what you're trying to learn. I'm not the best as well if he comes and says that, but you only have 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, yeah, okay. You are more popular than me, but I just mean that I think for DSA, you should not look at YouTubers. You should try and solve problems. You should try and read books about DSA. Language does not matter at all. But Java, yeah, sure, go for it. But try to be in the market. Yeah, just never blindly trust any influencers. Yes. Like I also had data structures videos, but those are only 3. That's why I'm not saying anything on data structures because I don't know it enough. So I decided not to continue with it, right? Being very honest about it. I mean, I know enough to crack interviews. I know enough how to use it in my day-to-day job, but I don't know enough to satisfy the Indian crowd. Does language matter? No, it doesn't matter. As long as I said, but don't end up using HTML, CSS for some things. People do use. I mean, I'm not saying go and still use Java after 10 years of time, right? Progress. Move forward. Will it be okay for data science? I don't think in data science, data structures is बहुत ज़्यादा important. It's very important. No, I don't think so. As long as you have a really, really good profile. And they might ask you here a bit about data structures questions initially in internships and all. But in the future, I don't think that interview rounds use this as a deciding factor. Yeah, this guy didn't know how to reverse linked list, but he is fired. No. I messaged Mohit about sweets and I also want sweets. Jay, sure. Come to Bangalore, I'll get you everything. Just FI, yes. Do you really think DSA is important for getting a job? Yeah. Yeah. Depends on the job. I mean, of course, an HR job will not require a DSA. Data structures and algorithms are one of the core things about computer science. That's what I feel. My opinion is after as I said, there's a recent video on my YouTube if you guys want to take a look at it. I'll quickly share that with you all. Like NeoVim plugin uses linked list. Okay. And I was like, wow, just trying to understand where does linked list come into picture. This is all very nice. Yeah, there you go. I'll share the link. There are 2 videos. I'll share the first one. You can go to the second one, I think, from the playlist or something. So what I mean is understanding how computers work, understanding how operating system work, understanding how networking works, understanding how all these things work, right? I think it's really, really important for not just for job, even after getting into a job, because people don't talk about, hey, I got into Microsoft. What next? What's your goal after this? Right? So I think that's very important that you focus on trying to solve problems even after getting into a job, right? So I think that's something that you should focus on. Yeah. Language proficiency will become irrelevant in coming time. LLMs will port entire code bases in one go. Debatable. Yeah, it's a huge debate that we can make. Just my thought. Yeah, I think I respect your thought as well. I don't, I mean, I've not thought about this enough that I can agree or disagree, but I agree it's a debatable thought. I mean, it's a really, really good discussion to have. It's not data success cause job, data success to build cooler projects. Yes. Think about this, right? You're going to cook. You don't know how to hold a knife. You don't know what happens after you boil a potato, right? How much time? You're just following a playbook. No. A good chef will know what's happening in the kitchen. That's all I mean. A good developer will know what's happening in the computer science whole engineering thing. At least know, have an idea. You don't have to be perfect. That's it. Do you know about Gaurav Singh? Yeah, I think he's good. He started off right, system design things and all. Respect him a lot. I respect him a lot. I don't think he has had any negative opinions from anyone. Yeah. My opinion. Yes. I usually skip those interviews, buddy. I mean, I usually skip those. It's too much information to take in. Given how much I'll tell you one thing, guys. 1 second. ये J का message नहीं देखूंगा नहीं ये डांटेगा. My opinion about does language is important in DSA or not, but languages like CPP and Java takes lesser runtime, so it gives advantages to those who use them in advanced ranking due to speed. Okay. Jay, yeah. The guy I told you, by the way, what Josh, if I'm not wrong, what was in Joshua, he uses Python as well in his LeetCode contest. So feel free to take a look at it. Things are getting, see, I understand, Jay, your point of view. I agree. But as I said, with contests and all, when you start up writing Java functions, it might take you a lot of time. But I agree. Overall, I think what he's trying to point out is right. Have you been to Yeah, interviews may I face issues. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. If they're asking for, I don't know, cool. Okay. Your experience, I agree. Have you been the other side of table interview? Yes, I take interviews every day, every week. Yeah, I've been on the other side, and that changes the whole point of view, right? Just trying to understand the, because I'll tell you guys one thing. Okay, one thing. IYO, what does it mean? Have you? What's the best time to build resume looking for internships? Always build your resume. Keep it dynamic. I think it's like, having a portfolio is very important. Good night, dinner time. Take care. Yeah, take care. Thank you so much for joining, Jay. Bye bye. Meet well. Enjoy your rest of the weekend, which is 2 hours probably now. What's the best time? Build it. Keep it. You're in this era. Always have your resume ready. People can ask for it. Yeah, here you go. Just like a GitHub profile. Don't be like, okay, after four years of BTech, I'll upload all my projects. No, keep on iterating on it, right? And looking for internships. It's like when you feel confident, or when you feel that you don't have enough projects to do right now, and or you are confident to go to the market and say that I want to work, I want to see how corporate world works, or you want to work for money as well. It's possible. Look for internships. I mean, look for internships now as well. You might get an opportunity and you might want to learn a lot. Yeah. Okay, you don't know me, no, but this point makes sense, right? When did DSA become the norm of software interviews? Aren't they the better things to test the ability of a candidate? I mean, I agree. Abnormal doesn't take lead code as a, like, we don't ask lead code questions, right? And people get surprised. Oh, there's no lead code. I've been doing data success, right? I'm like, no, why is it required? We don't use data success. We don't even, like, we might, like, honestly speaking, we don't use linked list in our backend job. Why would I ask you linked list? What will I get out of it? But then there's a point of view from other people that there's so many candidates to take in, and you can't keep on asking them, like for freshers at least, right? Talking about only freshers, right? What have they done in BTech? They might want to ask. I would say ask them computer science basics, ask them about database if they've done database courses. But then I think the employees, even they are not good enough for them to be like asking computer science, because they came from lead code and then they can only ask lead code, right? They didn't know, maybe they don't know database questions and all. Yeah, homebrew Dave guy. Yeah, I saw he got an inverter binary tree. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, from my point of view, I'm very young to comment on this, to be honest. But as I grow, what I've been learning is what they were doing in bachelor's. Did they take it seriously? What is required for computer science engineer? Do they have enough knowledge about it, or do they have passion for it, or can they grow? So, like for example, project round is really nice. You choose your favorite project, you come and tell us about it, and we'll ask you questions, and we'll judge you from that. I think that's a great round, right? People get to show their projects. That's a really, really good round, right? I mean, these kind of rounds should happen more. Yeah, I feel. Yeah. So yeah, I was telling this thing. I went to play badminton in the evening. Oh God, and this is paining. Oh shit. And I've been sitting. So all right, I think it was a really, really good stream, guys. I'm planning to do this EMA every week, and I have a request to everyone who is watching, especially from my college or people I know. Guys, please don't ask questions in DMs. If you can ask them in the YouTube channel comments, please don't shy away from being public about your questions. There was no one. If you think that your other 399 people in your college are your competition, you're wrong. There's a huge world out there, right? And first of all, don't try to compete with others. And secondly, even if you want to compete, I think you should be very honest about asking questions to people on YouTube. Because when you DM, right, what happens in the future? I don't like answering a lot of questions on DMs unless until someone I know very personally, because then it takes out the credibility part, right? I think I like being public about the questions they ask. That's why I would say, because a lot of people have copied my blogs, Chinese people have copied my blogs. And I was looking at traffic one day and I realized, oh shit, I'm getting more views from the Chinese people than Indians, and that's true. US is the topmost like traffic for my blog. And then I asked my mentor, like, how do you feel about it? And he's like, first of all, if someone is copying you, that's a good point. That's a really, really good thing. But secondly, always, if someone is asking for help, ask them to put that in the forum, put that out in Stack Overflow, put that in your Discord channel, YouTube comments, right? Let them ask that publicly so that it also helps 100 other people who are trying to look out for those questions, right? Second thing, if they're asking for help in a DM and it's a bigger help, ask for money. It's a freelancing thing, right? If someone is asking, can you do this project or I'm getting this bug, like that's a freelancing thing. You pay me 100 rupees, I'll do that. That's what he does, my mentor. And that made sense to me, right? His time is very important, right? If he's spending time in DMs helping out people, especially for projects, it's a freelancing thing. You be ready to pay for that. That's what I learned. So I would really appreciate people asking questions in the channel and publicly. I think that also helps. Looking currently at my peer group, all of them, first of all, hi Pushka, thank you so much for joining. Welcome. Looking currently at my peer group, all of them are learning different frameworks and tech stacks, but none of them is focusing on core CS subjects. Please comment on that. I'm also a little bit confused on that. Great question. Good confusion to have, to be honest. I mean, I would, if I were you, I would have that same confusion as well. In my point of view, there has to be a good balance, but I'll be more specific in the answer here. Yeah, core CS subjects are very important in my opinion, gives you the understanding of all the under the hood magic. Yes. But here's where I'm coming from. You build those projects, you use that frameworks to build a project from the core CS subject. Okay, hear me out on this. You are reading about how does scheduling algorithm work in operating system subject. I'm pretty sure if you're going through operating systems course, you will have the scheduling algorithms part. Okay. What I ended up doing, I'm like round robin scheduling algorithm. I understood what it is, right? I'm like, okay, now I knew that Linux kernel will have these scheduling algorithms, right? Go to that Linux kernel, try to understand where is round robin being used. Yeah. And then try to think about a sub project, okay? Let's say a restaurant, for example, restaurant management system. You guys remember we used to have these hospital management system projects and all. And these might sound very simple, but they are very complicated. Okay. Yeah. Connect the dots with real projects. That's what I'm saying, right? So you pick up those scheduling algorithms, then you think about where can it be used, right? And there is where ChatGPT comes into place. Use it, right? Ask ChatGPT. I do it every day. I'm like, tell me where can the graph be used? I'm like, yeah, routers. Shortest path, routers to use it. Networking, it's used a lot. Then I understood, oh yes, that's a good point, right? You want to connect to networks, you want to find this like shortest, closest network with some based on priorities as well. What kind of data structure will you use, right? Then build a project. And then to deliver it, you will use different tech stack and framework. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what You Don't Know Me is saying as well. If you want to look at, as an example, I'll give you a very good example so that your confusion goes away. Let's say you're trying to going through data like DCCN or computer architecture course or like computer networking course. Okay, they make you use some WebShark tool or something, right? Where you kind of monitor the traffic coming in and all of that. You can use data science to monitor. Now, what I'm telling you is, can you build a project out of it that your mobile hotspot connected to that WebShark, Wireshark, I think Wireshark, yeah. You get that metric, live traffic. You try to use that traffic and get some analytics page. That's all I'm saying. What are the websites that were loaded over the last few days? Yeah, Wireshark, right? Now try to get those analytics into a page. Then you see how Google Analytics does it. Analytics.google.com. If you visit, they'll show you the traffic and all. Then you think, how can I find where is this person located from the IP address, right? Then you try to understand all these things. I think that's where your core CS subjects will get very interesting as well. Sometimes you get bored, database management system, yeah, this is this and that. Okay, but what can you do with this? You can build a management system. Then you try to explore on that. Like you can make a chatbot. How are you going to store the chat history? What kind of database are you going to use, right? Where will you use it? How will you make it efficient? Every query you do, how are you going to do that? How will you get rid of dead rows, for example, right? Oh, yes. Coding challenges.fi. Yeah, this guy. I mean, these are really, really good things. Yeah, definitely do that. Like for example, how would you, hi, Hitler. Welcome. Welcome back to the world. There was a guy, hi, Jonathan. Okay. Jonathan Rust. Trying to find. Come on. Who was that guy? He's from MIT. He was in Amazon before, AWS or something. Jonathan Blow. Is he the guy? Let me find Jonathan Blow. Oh, he also does Rust. I didn't know. Thank you for your thing. I didn't know. Okay. I did not know. But who was that? No, there was this Jonathan Blow. No. Not I hate myself right now. Okay. Not Jonathan Blow. Okay, fine. I'll try to look in the subscriptions. Just give me 1 second. But really different person. Yeah. So he's a game developer guy. Okay. Emacs on Windows. Is it? Cool. Okay. I am not gonna quit on that. I think I know. He made his OS using Rust. No. Come on, coach, you can do it. J. Jonathan. I will have it in the live videos, guys. Come on. Okay, let me do it in front of you all. I think it's hi from Triple IT NR. Hush. Hush. Hi, thank you so much for joining. What kind of work do you do at Abnormal Security? First of all, welcome. Good to know that someone is from joining from Triple IT NR. Key value pair Jonathan does Emacs on Windows. Was it okay? Hush, I'm gonna come back to your question. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna search for my subscriptions over here. I don't know what kind of notifications. No boilerplate. No. Edward, by the way, his channel is really good. If you guys want to check out John. Oh, is it? Yeah, I think was he the person? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Grace, outstanding. Yeah, this is the guy. And if you guys look at his channel, right, I think he has really good content. And yeah, so he was trying to create a Rust BitTorrent client, right? And he was also using some coding challenge, by the way. And yeah, so this is different side though, but it might cost you as well. I'm not sure, Code Crafters, but these are really good projects to do, like build your own Redis. Yeah, build your own grep, for example. Excellent project. Try to get used to these things. I mean, try to look at these things. I would say. I would share this link as well. And thank you so much, Grace, for sharing the name. I was very tired looking for it. He's backend dev there, I suppose. Yes. Harsh. Yes. What kind of work do you do in terms of, to answer very specifically, Harsh? What I do over here is we have a lot of customers because Abnormal is huge, by the way, in terms of number of customers we have. So we get that data. Now, how would you make sure, first of all, the data is ingested properly within the given SLA, which sounds very easy. It's huge. It's difficult because from multiple clients, there's back off, there's this and that. How do you make sure that data is there, fetched properly in the given timeline, right? SLA. That used to be my previous team. Now, when I switch teams, what my focus is that, okay, how would you store that into a DB? How would you persist, right? And how would you implement clients so that other services can call these clients and make sure that they get the data on time? That's it. That's all they do. I'm preparing for JEE exam from years and I'm scoring 213 marks, but in actual paper I got pressurized now, and now I scored 114 actual JEE exam. And what to do? Quite. But if it helps, I don't think I qualified JEE advanced, but the score is at a level that I don't remember, and I scored 128 or something in JEE mains and 94.8% in CBSE board exams. I'm not here suggesting that whatever you scored, that you don't work hard and all. I would just say, be proud about the fact that you scored something, right? Don't waste a lot of times and drop. That's my personal opinion. Don't get influenced. I think, yeah, you're young, you might end up getting influenced. Okay, I'll take my words back. Please just enjoy the journey and be religious about work. I would not say end up doing 14 hours of studies every day. Just be religious. You're doing something for the reason. How many hours you do, that's on you. That's on your pace. Enjoy. It's okay. Don't get pressurized, buddy. I was in IIT JEE Advanced exam, and there were a lot of classmates from me, right, who went to Kota and did coaching and all. So they were there as well, and they worked very hard. So a lot of Kota guys were there, and I was in Jaipur, so I went there. I'm like, 6 hours exam. What will I do? I wanted to go back. I know that JEE Advanced was not possible for me. I was not interested as well, and I didn't prepare well for it. But I'm like, yeah, let's give it a try. Went there, 3 hours. 3 hours I spent enjoying the paper. I'm like, wow, this is a good question. Why are they asking this? Why do they even care for engineering that I do this and that? But okay, 3 hours I enjoyed. Next 3 hours I slept. Okay, or I planned for the rest of the day that this is what I'm gonna do. So I like all of these things. I thought like let's have some rest so that the rest of the day I can use for my programming projects and all. Like JMS was already done. I knew that I'm gonna get a college, and I wanted computer science from a decent college, not like very local college where they don't have standards. Yes, so that's what I spent, and people were like, "Oh, did he finish in 3 hours already?" I'm like, "Don't worry, guys. I'm not your competition. Look around. There are better people. If I get qualified, I'll give you sweets." But this does not mean that not scoring well is an ideal thing, right? So I would say relax. Yes, see, you can always get under 100, get under 1,000. Under 4,000 is big. Okay? Take that as an opportunity that you see. Virat Kohli scores these many runs in IPL, but doesn't score in World Cup finals and all. Will he end up being depressed about it? No, he knows that okay, that day wasn't my day. I worked hard. Did you do your best? Yes, you did. Baat khatam. Topic over. Okay. It's that day that's going to decide your future? No. But of course, it's going to play a part in it. That's why I'm saying you scored under 4,000. It's big deal. Buddy, I didn't score under 4,000. Okay. Right. Exactly. And see, I respect, like, same thing with competitive coding. I don't relate with it, but I respect those people who do it. Same with you. I respect that you worked hard for it, but now start focusing on your next journey. When you're going to get to in engineering, pick up a college under 4,000. You'll get to really good college. I would personally say stop wasting time in drops and all. Go ahead and learn and be excited for engineering. Be like Amir Khan in Three Idiots. Um, enjoy computer science, mechanical, metallurgy, whatever you want to pick up. Okay, whatever you want to do in life, do it well. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I've come across yeah, how did you end up here? Guys, please share LinkedIn. I was this playlist on implementing TCQ. Yeah, TCP protocol is good. I made a simple HTTP server using code crafters. That's good. Build your Docker. Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. Really missed good messages there. I've come across code crafter site. It's very interesting, but it's definitely not for beginners. Yeah, not for beginners. Yep, agreed. Um, I haven't done it by the way yet. I didn't get time yet. Main problem is I think I'm covered. I have one more attempt remaining in April. Okay. Then you know what? Meditate, relax when you go in exam, enjoy giving that question, knowing that you are already under 4,000, buddy. Your life for the college, whatever you aimed for, looks like it that you're gonna get it. Okay. Now you focus on just giving one more attempt. Do it properly. Don't end up doing too much, right? Keep it simple. Keep the process simple. Go and enjoy that paper, and you'll do good. And come back to me in April and tell me that okay, whatever it happened, I'm proud of myself, and that's it. That's all you have to say. Okay, baat khatam. Guys, get about this. Yeah, but do you think there's a future job in Julia? Simple syntax in Python. Yeah. I know Julia. Yeah, my brother used to do it. I mean, he's really good in Julia. I think there are definitely some jobs. Not sure in India though. Future too early to comment. I mean, noob to comment on Julia. I'll ask my brother to comment on that one day. Maybe I'll invite him for a talk. But um, you decide, buddy. I don't know Julia if there's a future or not. As I said, if there's a problem that Julia can solve, sure, there will be a future. Hi, Lakshay. Thank you so much for joining Triple ITNR. Good to see people from Triple ITNR joining finally. Best of luck. Yes, best of luck, Qwerty. Best of luck for your attempt. Rock it as you always do. Hi, Lakshay. Thank you so much for joining. Good evening or whatever. Any resources for advanced C++? I think that's a good question. I used to do Efficient C++. Really good book by, forgot the name, but let me get that. Yeah, 55 specific ways. CPPCon, yes. So Scott Mears is one person who is a legion in C++, buddy. So 55 ways to write really good C++, third edition. I can show you this thing over here. For example, here, I used to write blogs on these things, just reading through them. I'm not sure if this is the only one, but there are definitely more things to do. Next suggestion would be mine is look at Compiler Explorer. Always try to generate assembly level code of your code itself. Then try to understand. CppCon, yes, it's one. I'm still going in depth. Okay. What about other languages? I think if there's a chance you will still know about people in the data science field, I would be looking forward. Yes, but yeah, sure. Okay, I'll get my brother. He's really good in data science. I'll get him here and he'll talk about data science. Okay, I have noted this down. Okay, I'm gonna force him to come to YouTube channel next week or something. Cool. Lakshay, one thing I'll do is, do you know about ADSP podcast? And there are few resources that are really good. I think you should check it out. Second thing is PyTorch podcast. Because C++ is wild. It's wide and wild. Okay. You will not always feel like, okay, you know everything, right? So you need to start doing projects in C++ and then try to understand, okay, I could have used template. You can use meta programming. I mean, you can use variadic arguments here, all these things, right? And how do you end up knowing more about the language is by building on projects and trying to contribute to open source, or just trying to understand from there. I mean, see, language specific, I would say if there's a reason to dive deeper into particular language, go ahead and do it. Like if maybe your next job requires a lot of expertise on C++ or you want to do it, sure. Like, I mean, PyTorch is written in C++, right? By default, like everything in the background. So the podcast I shared, I think that would get you a lot of good resources on PyTorch code base. And then what you do is, okay, I'll tell you what. When you look at PyTorch, like they do a lot of auto-generated code, right? Let me show you all these things, okay? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to answer his question well because some kind of bias I have for my college students, and not a lot of people who come from my college. So I need to make sure. I mean, I'm helping everyone, so I hope you guys don't mind. But this thing, right? I'll take one example from my repository only. Still need to create one more page. 69 is an odd number to get stuck at, right? Like for example, structured kernels. This is a very, very interesting, right, topic to look at, right? And when you look at this code, right, for example, they have namespaces. Then you try to understand what is a namespace, right? Then you look at this. This is like when you click on this, it's probably a macro or something. I don't remember now. But what is it doing, right? For example, simple thing over here, if you see what does InfoSize do, what is .expand doing, how have they implemented this in C++? I believe that's the best way to understand how C++ can be leveraged in these libraries and you can use them, right? Right over here. This seems fine to me, right? So, I mean, all these things, right? Is it expensive? Is it not expensive? Can we do it better? All these things that you will learn is definitely through looking at code bases. So for example, Chromium code base is open source, right? Look at it. Try to understand how they have implemented linked list, how they have implemented their own data structures. Try to look at game engines, for example. So these things will help you a lot. I mean, that's my way, and that's how I learned advanced C++ as well when I entered NVIDIA. So when I went to the US, right, I asked them, okay, they said, okay, we're going to use this particular thing. And we're going to work on this. You can read about it. So I used to go to documentation. I read about variadic arguments, but when I started implementing that, that's when I got to understand, okay, this is how it is. And if you're interested, I think one thing I always suggest, very simple place to start. But this is what you can do. So I used to write a blog on, not this thing. Actually, you know what? This blog that I wrote was trending on a Reddit C++ for long. Okay. Not this thing. I think I wrote about vectors. I think I'll get vectors, C++, code base. Yeah, Shimali. I think I'll get it. Yeah. Understanding how vectors work. So this was something. So I was trying to understand how does pushback works. What does it even do? I'm like, okay, then write some. So I started looking at GCC compiler because it's compiler specific, right? So I looked at the code base. I tried to understand, okay, what are they doing here? And then I tried to understand how does the memory allocation work? all these things, templates and all, right? Try to write a blog out of it. Always have an artifact, whatever you do. All right, that's my personal suggestion. It works for you, right? And when you end up writing things, you learn a lot as well. So that's what I did, and try to understand how does even simple pushback, because pushback does resize after a given, if it's exceeds the capacity, right? So guys, please feel free to write something like this, right? Like for example, how does normal unordered map implementation work in C++? Go to the code base, try to understand what they've done differently compared to what we do in our data structures courses, right? I'm gonna come back to that Pushka, sorry, focusing on open source but targeting non-GSOC projects. It's like personal choice, right? Yeah, I didn't do GSOC. I was shortlisted, but I preferred going to NTU Singapore at that time. So yeah, other languages is fine. I think you should definitely have some vast area. Like you don't get stuck to one language. Knowing Golang and Rust will help you on a longer run for sure. At least being experienced. Like, for example, when I started working here, people were talking about, bro, Golang is really good. I'm like, I've not done Golang. So, like Python multi-threading sucks, right? And Golang coroutines and all are really good. So people were talking in that context. So when you enter a company, people do a lot of that. At least in startups, there's a lot for you to learn and even improve in our current code base as well. So that's one thing I would always suggest. Look at those things. I mean, understanding other languages is going to help you a lot. So that's for sure, Lakshay. Thank you so much for joining. What about other languages? I think Rust documentation is amazing. If you once you're done with Rust documentation, you can start picking up things, right? Okay, I haven't done Golang, to be honest, too much. Like I do build a few things in my current company for Golang, but as I said, I'm not really an expert here. Anyone follow chess? Bro, once I played chess and there's a guy who started shaking hands with me. I'm like, what happened? You're still playing. He's like, sir, you lost. I'm like, I didn't lose. My king is still there. He's like, sir, next move you will lose. So just to keep respect, I didn't want to kill your king, and I'm just shaking hands. I'm like, that's so rude. So I stopped playing chess since then. I play badminton, and I like playing basketball as well. I have played handball before. Oh, please take your question, Pushka. Oh, yes. Oh, Gukesh and all. Okay. Okay. All the best to Gukesh then, because he looks like an Indian. We hope you lose, brother. What's your take on reading books and how you read it? I got a habit of watching YouTube videos more and less reading. I think reading is a really, really good habit. It's because of the decreasing attention span of this generation, right? So as you see, you look at shorts being more popular than this, like kind of live streams I do. I understand. Even for me, I can't watch a 1 hour stream for long. Like earlier in schools, we used to have 45 minutes of 1 hour class. Now I think they might reduce it to 30 minutes, right? So it's because of attention span. So if you want to, I mean, reading is really, really good. I like reading. I don't like watching videos. For you, I would suggest stop looking at hyperlinks when you read a blog. When you read a paper, stop trying to say that, no, I didn't understand this. I should go and look at the hyperlink first. I should search this definition. Don't do that. First, you complete reading, and then you try and understand, what did I not understand? What did I understand? That's it. That's the best way to read paper as well, right? Like you don't, because in every paragraph you will find an English word that is not understandable. Don't end up saying that, no, I don't understand, this paper is difficult. No, start reading first, and then you'll see that what you have got from there, right? So I think, okay guys, stop talking about chess. I'm talking about here books, and these both lads are just what is they did that on Deuce. Okay guys. Okay, Golang is easy to pick up, the foot guns. Yeah. Cool. I think I answered all the questions, guys. I did a good job being an okayish YouTuber today. If anyone is new, please consider. No, sorry, you don't have to be sorry, buddy. It's all good. Use this as a platform to build your chess team if you can, and I'll sponsor. Don't worry about that. I'll give you guys free chocolates while playing if that helps. Dark chocolates, Amul dark chocolates with vanilla flavor. I don't know if there's any flavor like that. It's okay. You don't have to delete it. It's all fine. Buddy, I play Counter-Strike sometimes. It's all good. It's all good, yeah. Cool, yeah. Okay, I've spoken for last 1.5 hours, and tomorrow is work day. I'm excited about work, and I'm excited about sleeping. So I hope you guys are sleeping as well. I'll have to wake up at 6:30. I'll have to go to office at 7 o'clock. That's what I do. I'll suggest everyone in Bangalore to do that as well. Um, be humble, be kind, stay down to earth no matter where you are. I think life will teach you lessons if you don't learn themselves first. So stay humble. Okay, everyone, take care. Be thankful to everyone who has helped you in the life. I'll suggest everyone to WFH. Yeah. Good topic to talk about in the next week. Put things on Discord when you stream though. Okay. One thing, guys. What 7 o'clock? Yeah. I go to office at 7 or 7:30 max. I wake up early and I immediately go to office. If I want to walk around and all, I do that in the office. But I like going early. That's what I do. And guys, quickly, I'll share the Discord link with everyone. This link will expire in 7 days. So please make sure to join the channel, and in chat zone, feel free to chat about anything. Basically, how you read at heavy books of CS, like you read it cover to cover, or just pick any topic in between and read it. I haven't read books. I generally read blogs. I suck at book reading. I read documentation more. So I think what works for me is looking what particular thing I'm looking for, particular chapter, trying to go through it, and then moving forward. That's what works for me. I mean, college days, I've definitely read books. I've been a really religious student in my college days. I'm still religious about everything I do. And that time I used to just read topic, like page by page. If I don't understand anything, I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. That's life. Okay. This pains. Don't play badminton every day, guys, if you're a developer. Okay, thank you. Perfect. 7 o'clock, yes, Grace Hopper. So I need to sleep now. Wish me luck, guys. Great session. धन्यवाद. सादर प्रणाम. बड़ों को प्रणाम, छोटों को स्नेह. सविनय निवेदन है कि मैं कुशाश विश्वमाली बैंगलोर का निवासी आपसे प्रार्थना करना चाहता हूँ कि प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब कर दें चैनल को. प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब द चैनल इफ़ यू लाइक द कंटेंट. नो फोर्स एट ऑल. आई एम नॉट अ यूट्यूबर एट ऑल, but I'm getting there. I need to remind myself. Calm down. No copyright ending stream music. Nope. No, there's no music. I can sing for you guys, but I can't. And I know if I sing good, you don't know me, will say that no, I'm turning off the stream. So I'll not sing. There's a video coming out very soon, guys, by the way, of me. Very short video, 2 minutes video of me singing while no one was watching my stream. It hurts. Baitram, thank you so much for. I'm sorry I couldn't help you enough with data science. I'm unfortunately not really the best person to help. So, but yeah, I appreciate all of your presence, guys. Come on, everyone who is here right now, can you all say goodbye and good night? Can we all be this kind and say goodbye so that I know that you guys took, were here for so long, and I'll express my gratitude to all of you who were here, who are here, and who are gonna be here in the future. Goodbye and good night. Don't say goodbye. Oh, I asked you to say goodbye. No, never say goodbye, bro. Goodbye means like tada, bye bye, never come back. Oh, you guys are now saying goodbye. Goodbye. Happy weekdays. Oh yeah. Okay. Excited about work? Yeah. Yeah, you asked. I am. I'm so sorry. My fault. Still setting up the stones for being a YouTuber, I guess. Anyways, I'll continue my streams on development tomorrow. So stay around. Stick around. Good night. Thank you so much, Lakshya, for joining. Thank you, Devashish. Thank you. You don't know me. Thank you, Grace Hopper. Thank you, Batram. Thank you, Pushka. Thank you, Mohit, for being here when he was in the train. And thank you, everyone else. Take care. Thank you. Bye. Good night, everyone. Perfect stream. Learned a lot. Same here. I learned a lot as well from all of you. A lot of things to learn. We'll keep learning together. Take care. Sleep well. Sleep well. Okay, sleep well. Don't play something while you're sleeping, by the way. Don't do multitasking. Bye.